Name, where you were born, and the date of birth.
My name is C.L. Houston, Houston. My age, I have calculated, but I was born December 17th,
Okay.
1932,
1932.
in Roseland, Louisiana.
Okay. And what is your mother and father's name? Your mother and father's name.
My dad was named George Houston, and my mother was Mabel Green for scared. That was her.
Maywood?
Mabel Green.
Green?
That was her maiden name.
Okay, Mabel Green was her maiden name. Okay.
Okay.
And then, any brothers and sisters?
Yes, I had
And their names?
my oldest brother named George Houston Jr. And matter of fact, that's what made me go in military service in 1950.
Okay.
Was to avenge his death in the military.
Okay.
And
He got killed in the military?
beg pardon?
He got killed in the military?
Do he have children?
Yeah, you said to avenge his
No, he
death.
didn't have any children.
Oh, he didn't have any service?
He didn't have any children.
But you said you wanted to avenge his death.
Avenge his death because he got killed.
How? Okay.
He got killed in 1947.
Where did he get killed?
And they had made it all the way overseas and came back to San Francisco.
Okay.
And him and a Puerto Rican guy
Okay.
got in a hotel and somebody gassed him. I reckon to rob him
Okay.
because they had nothing on him when they found him.
Okay.
And so my other brother,
Him and a Puerto Rican guy, or
him and a Puerto Rican, I don't know the
they
Puerto Rican
killed
guy's name.
both of them? Died.
Yeah, they was buddies,
They were buddy. Okay.
military buddies, and because their service was segregated at that time.
Okay. It was segregated?
Yes,
What do you mean segregated?
the blacks was in an all-black outfit during his time with all white officers.
Okay.
I went in when in 1950, I was one of the first blacks, and the other guy come to a snail.
Okay.
We broke the color barrier. We were the first integrated fighting troops.
Okay.
And I left New Orleans, he left Arkansas. But we met up in Fort Riley, Kansas. That's where I took my basic training.
Okay.
16 weeks. Left there and went to Fort Belvoir, Virginia, which is their BI Academy now.
Okay.
And took my engineer school and weapon and bomb.
Engineering? Was it engineer schooling?
Engineer schooling.
Okay.
Know how to build air bases and rocks, turn them into fine rock where we could make air bases
Okay.
and stuff like that, make a hard surface for the airplane to land in Korea. And from there, I went to Camp Stoneman, California,
California? Okay.
and stayed there about 8 days for processing to go to Korea. And for some reason, they had to wait on some information on me, and the rest of the guys went over on a ship. But by me being 8 days late, they flew me over. And that was the first time I ever flew on an airplane.
Okay.
In
1950? 1950?
1950.
Okay.
June 1950, that's when the war first started.
Okay.
And I've got 4 kids. I got one girl.
What's their names? What's the kids' names?
Antoinette is my daughter's name,
Okay.
my youngest daughter.
Okay.
She finished college, thank God.
She finished college? Okay.
Yeah, and I had my son, oldest, well, his own son, adopted son, who was by my wife,
What's his name?
Antonio.
Antonio. Okay.
Right. And I talked him into going to the military, so he went.
Okay.
And 1968.
Okay.
And
Did he go to Vietnam? Did he go to Vietnam or no?
No, he didn't go to Vietnam. They was sending him around just stationed different. Matter of fact, he became a TI training instructor.
Okay.
He was pretty good because I told him a lot of stuff that he
Okay.
could pass those tests.
Okay.
And now on my
So TI, what is that? What is TI? TI training.
Technical instructor.
Technical instructor. Okay.
Yeah. When you go through it, if you learn your work good, then they want to keep you as a training instructor.
Okay.
Because that means you're good enough to train the rest of the guys coming in.
Okay.
And the Air Force and the Army got standards.
So he does basic training, or?
That's in basic. They do that in basic training.
So they train him. He becomes a trainer.
They pick out the one that grabs it fast
Right.
and maintain it
Okay.
versus the one that just la land, just go through it just so they can get it over with.
Okay, and you did that too?
Yes.
Okay. And so what kind of training do they do?
We learned,
Marching and, what else?
we learned how to, send us down to Texas for 90 days. I can't remember the hurricane of that, but it was a hurricane. We had to go to Mexico and set up a tread bridge
Okay.
so they could cross some river.
Okay.
I don't remember what the river was.
Okay.
But you had to learn all of that so when you go to Korea to the war, if they bomb the roads or the railroad tracks you couldn't get through, you can set that treadway bridge up and come on across.
Okay.
Because that's a steel bridge and it's built on floats, but it can handle all that weight you can put on it. The heavy equipment we had, we could bring it across the river. And now my brother, he living in Seattle now.
Which brother is this?
That's Leroy.
Leroy, okay.
Leroy Houston.
Because you didn't tell me all the brothers. How many brothers?
I actually got two. In black, we call them whole brothers. It's about the same mama.
Whole brothers.
Right. And I got whole, H-O-L-E, whole brother.
Whole brother.
It's about his mama and
Same
mama
mother and father.
and same dad. Right.
Okay, okay.
And then
And then you have half brothers. Whole brothers and half brothers?
right.
Okay, I got you.
It's still a brother though.
No, they're still brothers. Okay,
Right.
so how many whole brothers?
Whole brother, I had two.
What's their names? Leroy?
That's George Jr.,
Okay.
George Houston Jr., and Leroy.
And Leroy. And what about the other brothers? The other brothers?
Now, the other brothers I got in Seattle right now is
What's their names?
I got just talked to him last night on my cell phone.
Okay, you got them. Okay, you got them.
One is kids we named them back then in my time.
You can give their nicknames. Right? This is just so.
Okay, one is John,
Okay.
and he's Houston. And,
This is just in case they see the interview. That way they,
okay. And
that way they know you forgot their name.
okay, that's what I'm trying to think of the name now. One is named John.
Okay.
I got one more. I can't hardly think of his name because we don't talk that much.
Okay, you don't take the way. Well, if you remember later, we'll put it on.
That part?
If you remember it later, we'll put it on. Just to, give them credit.
Let's see.
You said John, Leroy, and
That's
then
Leroy's whole brother.
whole brother.
George and John.
George and John are half brothers.
Half brothers.
Okay.
These are what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Any sisters?
Sister I had two.
What's their names?
One was named Irma,
Okay.
and one was named Betty.
Betty? Okay.
Irma is dead. She died about 3 years ago.
Okay.
Betty's still living, but she have a deep mental problem
Okay.
because she was a drinker all her life.
So mental problems?
Mental problem. Alcohol
she
can give you a
drinks.
mental problem if you do. Just,
Okay, because she was drinking and stuff like that?
Yeah, you misuse it. She misuses it
Okay.
a whole lot.
Okay.
And in the black race, like my sister named Irma,
Okay.
that's the four. There were four of us.
Right.
By my mama. Then my mama got killed.
What happened to your mom?
She got off on a bus and went in Louisiana on 55 now. It used to be 51.
Okay.
And her and my aunt, she was coming back from Franklin, where we have the big fair every year.
Franklin, Louisiana?
Right. And she got off on the bus, and there was a doctor out of New Orleans speeding, and the bus let her off. And as a matter of fact, it was a caution light right there and a railroad crossing.
Okay.
But he was speeding and he hit her and knocked her up on top of this railroad sign. Broke so many bones in her that she lived about maybe a day after that and she died.
This is
My mom.
This is your mom.
And that's when my daddy married. Well, he married the other one. We call them stepkids. The rest of them, they wasn't married mine.
So the stepkids.
Yeah.
So that's when he married someone else.
Yeah, he married
But
somebody.
she helped raise you too. What was her name?
Who else?
Did she help raise you too, or no?
Well, I was only about
He was already grown.
3.5 years old when she got hit.
Oh, okay.
But I remember the funeral.
Right.
Because I didn't go to the funeral because they had a little white suit on me. And me and my other brother and cousin, we were playing cowboys in Indian.
Okay.
And we had a fireplace.
Okay.
And I got that thing real dirty, that white suit. So they wouldn't let me go. And that hurt me. That's the biggest hurt I reckon I had in my life.
Because you couldn't.
Although I was only 3 years old.
But it hurt you because you wanted to go to.
I couldn't go to my mama's funeral. Yeah. And it's a long story.
Okay.
About when I grew up on a farm. Maybe let's back up a little bit here.
Okay. Tell me how you grew up.
I grew up on a farm.
Okay.
We had 28 cows, milking cows. And we had to get up and let them out. Me and my brother Leroy, or Bully Boy, that was his nickname, George Jr.
Okay.
And we have to get up and milk those cows and set that milk out, clean up that lot, and wash it down with some water in the barn before we go to school. That's every day, and when we come home, we had to do it. We had no time to stand on the block.
Okay.
We get home about 4 o'clock in the evening, even in the summertime, you got about 4 or 5 hours of sunlight, but you got to clean up that barn. You might have to go get hay and move it from one place to another one. And so you can feed the cows, mix the feed and all that kind of stuff. And then things got rough on us, it got hard on us, when World War II started.
Okay.
And in 42, when the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor.
Okay.
All the steel and stuff we could get down there, we were loading it, and they were sending it over there to them before it started about 38, 39. They took that same steel America was giving them and bombed us with the bomb. Made the airplanes and stuff with it. I was young, but one thing about farming, it ain't like the blacktop's kids. You get good common sense out there. Because if you don't have common sense, you can't farm. You got to know when to plant, how to plant, and how to make stuff grow, and what much fertilizer you need. And you learn at an early age, because they take you out there when you're about 4 or 5 years old. And 6 years old, I was driving a tractor, a Ford tractor. I'd be out there dissing and plying, and a thing happened to me when you got a hauler busting up the clogs of dirt. And my daddy had told me, and he was working part-time on the railroad. And so I saw him coming, I was so happy inside, because I had been putting that hauler on my knee, and it had made a sore on there. I was out there just looking.
What were you putting on your knee?
The hauler, pick it up, and put, a farm hauler is that breaks the clog.
The holler?
It's a hauler. It got teeth in it like that.
Okay.
And you pull it over the land after you dish it.
Oh, that's to dig
The pulverized the
okay,
sand.
to turn the soil.
No, it don't turn. It just pull through that and knock the bust up the clog
You just pull it.
with a tractor.
And you call it a hauler.
And then you lose these hauler. Yeah.
Okay.
When you lose these, you find them, and then you got to put them back in there.
Okay.
Well, Daddy had showed us how to put it on our knee and put it in there, take a crescent ring, tighten it up.
Okay.
I was just riding it that day, and I looked over and saw a round log about 2 feet long. And I said, why I put that on there and hurt my knee? And when I can take that log and put it between the tractor and the hauler and pull the hauler up on that and put it back in there and like. And it worked. And I saw Daddy coming that evening. And I said, Daddy. I thought I had discovered a coffee or something. And he said, what is it? I said, I just learned something. I don't have to put that on my knee and have a sore on my leg. What you do? I put a log between there and pull it up on there. You don't have to do it anymore. Ain't no way to do that boy like that. I mean, the old people back then were so They didn't believe nothing. You couldn't tell them
You couldn't
anything.
tell them anything.
Whatever
It was
they
their
say,
way and that's it.
right. When they said that was the law,
Right.
and they didn't know how innovative that a kid can be.
Right.
Because a lot of stuff we tried when they were gone to make stuff easy for us,
Right.
even out there milking the cow, we found out a lot of times we put the feed out early,
Right.
and then when the cows come in, they go in with a yoke,
Right.
and you close it up to make them stand still. We know we could milk a cow more easy when he's eating than it could if he's not eating. Because if he's not eating, he want to kick you and move around and knock the bucket out your hand. You squat down there milking.
Okay.
And
what time in the morning do you milk them?
and I wanted to tell my daddy
What time do you milk them? What time?
about with milk was at school days a little bit later. But normally for a weekend we milk about 3:30, and he started about 3:30.
3:30 in the morning?
And in the morning about 3 o'clock, and we finish about 6.
Okay. With all of them?
Because you got to clean up the barn, because inspectors will come out and inspect your barn.
Okay.
And keep bacteria down, they had to keep your barn clean. We had to clean up all of the manure inside and put it outside, take a whole pipe and wash it down. Now we had pressure water at the barn, but we had to carry it from the well for water in the house. We didn't have no running water in the house. And at night we had kerosene lamps to live by.
Okay.
So we didn't have to get lamps until I was about 7, 8 years old. And of course it was better back then because when we got the first telephone we got, we couldn't use it because the white folk used it first, and if you hear somebody on the line, you got off of it. You know, you
You
was
have
like,
to get off of it?
yeah, because you're black, you had to,
Why?
because they're segregated.
The white folks will get
If
angry?
they're on there,
If
and
you don't
unless
get
it's
off the
somebody
line.
you really know,
Right.
they'll tell you get the hell off the phone, and they meant that, and they knew what you were saying.
Because you said it was segregated.
Yeah, they're very segregated.
So what's that mean? What will they do if you don't get off?
Well, they might tell the police might do something to you, or they might get a gang and come down and do something to you.
Or they had gangs to do
Oh
something?
yeah,
Or the police?
they call it
or
Ku
the other
Klux Klan, but
Yeah.
it was nothing but a gang. That's all that stuff is.
Okay.
And they still got them, Ku Klux Klan and stuff, but they only gang. Those are,
So they will call the gang the Ku Klux Klan?
we as black, we call them gang because they wasn't obeying the law.
Right.
We was trying to obey the law,
Right.
but they didn't care nothing about the law. They figured they were the law. In most places, they was the
And
law.
this was in the country?
Yeah.
And they come over to your farm and then start trouble?
Everybody had to have them 2 or 3 shotguns and some good dogs, because you don't know when they might come.
Oh, so you guys had your shotgun?
So you live,
You had your shotgun and everything ready?
I put it this way, what you're doing, you're living in fear.
Okay.
You live most of your life in fear. And I found that
Did you feel fear?
yeah, because you know what they done to somebody, they can do it to you.
Or you heard about other stories?
Huh?
You heard that they did other things to other people?
No, a lot of these things I saw.
You saw it?
Yeah.
What did they do?
They come out and set your barn on fire and all that, might set your hay on fire, and you done lost a whole year's work. It wasn't nothing,
So they didn't play. They didn't play.
no, and then we did some dirty things too.
What kind of stuff did you do? That's
Well,
you can say.
when I got back out of service,
If you don't want to say something, just say I don't want to say.
yeah, okay. When I got back out of service, I got to talk. They had the Black Panther and all that. I didn't want that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Cause I still love America.
Okay.
It meant something to me. Going so when I raised my hand, it meant something.
Okay.
I wish only 10% of them in there would honor that flag like in this country, like I feel about it. We wouldn't have all the problem we got now. You know, but anyway, but I told them like this, I was
So
young.
you felt the Black Panthers didn't love America?
Well, no, I was working with Martin Luther King.
Okay.
And he was teaching us well.
Okay.
And he teach
So
us,
you were for nonviolence?
yeah. But we had some guys in a circle,
Okay.
that wanted to do the same thing they did. So one night,
So you had some people that were for the Black Panthers
right,
in the circle, but you wanted to be with Martin Luther King.
right,
But both sides saw that there was something wrong.
right.
Okay.
And they would say like this, and this is how we fought it
Okay.
in the South.
Okay. How did you,
Where I was.
yeah. How did you do it? How did you do it?
We would put on paper out, and we'd type it out right so they couldn't trace no
Okay.
handwriting or nothing. And we'd tell them, say, okay, the next one of us is hurt, we're gonna go to the hospital and kill all the babies. Let's stop it all that stuff. We didn't have no more
Right.
thing coming our way, because we got to the root of it.
Okay.
Nobody wants their baby dead.
Right. But you were just threatening them. You were not going to do that.
You know, I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do no crime. I wouldn't care if a man was killing another person. I wouldn't want to kill that man.
Right.
Because I believe in the Bible.
But this is some of the stuff that
But
kids did.
fear is when you put fear in a person.
Right.
That's how you win wars.
Okay.
See, we won in Korea, all places where we were, because we put fear. No matter what they did to us, we didn't give up.
Okay.
And that's what I love the military for. Because every kid, whether he black, white, or blue, it don't make me no difference. He ought to have out of his high school, 6 months of that ought to be military type basic training.
Okay.
First learning commitment. We wouldn't have all the divorces and all that, because you make commitment. And you drill that's drilled into you. And over and over and over. And till you believe it. And you think a wife is supposed to be forever. Doing right makes you a citizen. You're not an outsider. And it's just like in that woman there, she be trying to talk. You see how noisy they be?
Yeah.
If somebody come here to talk to us,
Right.
we can't hear what they say
Right.
because they're so noisy.
Right.
Those are ones don't want to learn nothing. They're satisfied where they are. And so and I can understand the Republican Party. You're tired of giving away money for nothing. If you keep investing money, planting a crop, and you can't make a profit off of it, what you do? You sit down during the winter time, you figure out, I got the wrong crop. I got to find a crop that I can make a profit off of, because if you can't make a profit, you can't stay in business.
Okay, so was it a business that your father had, that farm? It wasn't just, because he had a lot of cows. He had a lot of cows, cattle?
No, we didn't have, but we weren't milking but 26 cows. We had
So
maybe
you had 26 cows?
milking cows. And
Milking
now
cows.
you have the other calves, the bulls, stuff
Right,
growing up.
so was it a business?
Right.
So was
And you
it?
had to make money enough to every year
So
to carry you through the winter.
so he had a business. It was a business.
Yeah, it was a business.
Okay. So how did he start that business?
How he started,
Yeah, your father. Yeah.
my grandfather, and
What did your grandfather do for a living?
same thing, he did farm.
Farm.
Right.
And then so your grandfather had some money.
Yeah, yeah. And he tried to teach us all he could to us.
Okay. Okay. And they're from the same town? Oh, that's the same farm.
Yeah.
That was your grandfather's farm.
We never lost a farm. But what we did do, we lost our dairy farm because they made a law all at once. Bam. You got to have coolers in your dairy.
Okay.
They used to pick up milk twice a day, in the morning and in the evening,
Yeah.
take it to the milk plant.
Okay.
But then they wanted you to buy a big old cooler, big as long as this table is, about that high, refrigerated. And because they only picked up milk once a day. And you put milk, your morning milk, put it in there, and your evening milk, they come get it that evening.
And so you didn't have a cooler.
Couldn't get one, couldn't afford one.
So they closed it down.
Yeah, so we stopped.
So who took the farm? What happened to the farm?
We kept the farm in the family.
But you just couldn't do
But
dairy.
you do other things.
Okay.
We started raising hay.
Okay.
And we cut the hay into roll and bale and sell it to the people that needed it. They didn't have room enough to grow it.
Okay.
And we would do like fresh vegetable crop, like beans, iced potatoes, strawberry, and stuff like that. It only lasts for about 5 or 6 a week, but you can make enough money and still in the summer to go through the winter.
Okay.
And we have chicken, sell egg. In World War II, when it started, they had OPA stamps. You had to have a stamp. You couldn't buy meat. But by us being farmers, we did have
Oh, they stamped the meat. They stamped the meat?
No.
Okay.
OPA was to make sure that you didn't buy more than what you need.
Oh, okay.
That meat had to feed the troops.
Oh, so that was ration. They rationed the food.
Ration, yeah.
Okay.
You only were allowed 2 pair of shoes a year.
Okay.
So we always got a pair of Brogan and a pair of tennis shoes. We're barefooted most time in the summer. And we learned how to find other crops. And we would take meat and put it in that cooler over salt meat, salt it down to preserve it. And then we found out we could take that, and people that wanted meat and bacon and stuff, fatback we call it, it's like bacon before it's cured, and we could get some of the stuff we want, like sugar, stuff like that, by trading, bargain with people. You barter with people, if you got what they want, you can get what you want. And we learned how to do that. And I ain't got it now. Right now, and I used to say this here, and I know it's fact. When there was riots and stuff going on,
okay,
all they had to do to stop a riot and stop putting food out where they couldn't buy no food.
okay.
And that would stop the riot, bam, overnight. Because blacks have lost all the ability to learn how to raise fresh vegetables, fresh fruit, and all of that.
Okay, so if there was a riot, you're saying all they have to do is cut off the food.
Cut off the food
Supply, because people gave up farming.
Yeah. See, they cut off the lights, water to a right-torn area,
Right.
but they can still get out of there and bring food and water in.
Right.
But if you had it where they couldn't get that, those out to live there,
Because black people did not want to farm.
they don't want to farm no more.
So what do you think about that?
It's one of the worst things ever happened.
That they don't want to
Because
farm.
they equate that with slavery, but it's not.
Or black people equate farming with slavery,
With slavery.
but it's not.
It's not, no.
Okay, what's the difference?
Farming is survival.
Okay.
Slavery was something that only happened to black. Every race of people that I know has been in slavery.
Okay.
Now, if you look at it, only the strong survive.
Okay.
Education was the problem. Still is the problem. A young man the other day, this woman said over where I sit there on the end, I don't know what's wrong with her. She got her son, she says her nephew, grandson. Somebody he going to the military service, he playing ball for some school. And soon as he finished, but what he don't understand, he played ball, and I asked him what AB time AB is.
Mm-hmm.
And he don't know none of that. He don't know what pi is, none of that.
Mm-hmm.
He don't know no math at all. And so the number one thing in school is English, to know what you're saying. I had a professor told me in school once, I didn't go for 2 years.
You went to 2 years?
2 years of college, yes.
You went to 2 years of college?
Yeah.
Okay.
He sent me to get some water. And I made a big mistake. I went and got the water. And when I came back in the room with the water, glass of water, everybody was laughing, and he just kept right on working the big problem on the board. And he said, what you doing with that water? I said, you told me to go get the glass of water. He said, what did I tell you to do with it? And then I had to scratch my head. You didn't tell me anything. He said, when a person tells you go get something, you ask the question, what you want me to do with it? And he taught me a lesson, taught the whole class a lesson. But that was a good.
What was the lesson? What was the lesson?
The lesson is.
The water was for you?
it's why, number one, if he tell me to go get a glass of water, where to go? I came back to him. He didn't tell me to come back there.
Okay.
He said, somebody wanted you to take it around the building 2 times and pour it in that.
Oh, because you didn't ask you didn't ask him.
But I didn't have the ability to understand, to analyze the problem, what he would have me do.
Okay.
He wants you to be self-esteem, and when you know, when you hear something, you can solve a problem solving.
Because you got to ask.
But I had it wasn't solved. I thought I had solved the problem. I assumed that he wanted me to bring it back to him.
Mm-hmm.
And he told me, said, when you assume, you make an ass out of you and me.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he told me, say, English is the most important thing. Never do nothing until a person tell you something and that you know what he's telling you. Don't just take off running out there. Mm-hmm. And that was a good lesson he taught. And I'm still using that. I use it on my grandkids, my little nieces and nephews. If I tell them, I do it around the house sometimes. I tell them, say, go get me a cup of coffee. And they come back with the coffee. I said, I didn't tell you to bring that coffee here. I said, when you got it fixed, you should have asked me, what do you want me to do with it? Because I'm not going to sit here on my bed and drink coffee and waste coffee on my sheets and stuff. I'll come in the kitchen and sit at the table and eat me a donut and drink me a cup of coffee.
So what was, you went to elementary school, grammar school? Where did you go?
At Ponchatoula, Louisiana.
Where?
Ponchatoula, Louisiana. That's where they have Strawberry Festival every year.
Okay. Ponchatoula.
Ponchatoula, Ponchatoula.
Okay.
Ponchatoula.
And you went to school there, grammar school.
Right.
Was that far from Roseland?
It was about 40 miles.
So how did you
But
get...
I had a grandmother down there, so they took me down there after my mama died, and I stayed with my grandma.
You stayed with your grandma? Okay, and then so you were able to walk to school?
I walked to school and I would cry when it rained when we couldn't go to school. That's how much I love school.
Okay. So what did you love about school? What was going on in school?
That back then, segregation to me, and this is not everybody's thoughts. It should have never been. Because those teachers thought enough of us, they would come, if we were doing bad, they'd come by our house and teach us in that particular subject, whatever it was. Once they integrated, the teacher beat the kids out of class. There you got 500 kids, they leave 2 teachers and the rest of them gone. Teachers won't, if they work 15 minutes over, they won't pay for it. Back before integration, well, it wasn't like that.
So when it was segregation, it was better?
Huh?
You said it was better when it was segregation?
It was better, for education-wise.
But these were white teachers teaching?
White and black.
And they cared more?
They cared more back then.
Okay, but once it was integrated...
Well, they were so scared they're going to get in trouble and all of that, the law changed.
Right.
And they can't produce like they could. I mean, we had a professor, if you did mention that, you going to the office of the professor, they scare you to death. Kids got no fear now. They don't even fear their mom and daddy. Mm-hmm. I worked part-time on the police force.
Okay.
It was juvenile, what it was. And
where was this? Where did you work?
At Benton Harbor, Michigan.
Okay.
And that was my night to work around the school.
Okay.
They had a ball game. And that was a little black guy, young kid, maybe he was probably about 14 or 15, but it had snowed. And he took a snow and rolled around that rock. And there was a car coming. And he threw that rock and hit that car. I running down and caught him. And another, my helper, called police. So when he got, the police came, you can't do nothing to me. I'm a juvenile. And I asked him, I said, please, Y'all just drive around the block and let us have that little sucker. And he won't say that no more.
Right.
He said, we can't do that. We can't let you do it. But see, that's the difference how what the integration brought about.
Right.
Before that,
Before when they had segregation, we could do that.
yeah, before integration in my hometown, if a guy didn't take care of his kids,
Right.
they run him completely out of town.
Okay, but this, because there was black people taking care of other black people,
Oh yeah, it was white people taking care of other white people.
and white people took care of white people.
Right. You know, they
But
took care of
when they-
black people too.
But when they get, and they, okay, and then
But see, what integration did, you brought along ADC and all of that.
ADC,
Yeah.
and ADC investigated.
Now, why should I go out there and pick strawberry, pick cherry, when I can sit at home and you're going to give me some money? Pay me to stay home.
Okay, so that's what they do now.
That's what segregation,
Okay.
integration, I mean, brought along.
Integration, yeah. Okay, so you're against integration because of that. But what about when there was segregation, they didn't like black people in certain places?
Let me tell you something.
Okay,
It never was all white hating black.
okay.
I'm not liking black. It would have been if we wouldn't have had the laws we got now. So it wasn't that.
Oh, okay, what was it then?
It was the sucker that walked around and wanted to live off of other people, steal what somebody else done work for. And just like the black guy thing, they don't tell on each other. But like I tell them all, I say, if I see you breaking into anybody's house, I don't care whether it's blue, black, or what, I'm calling the police. And they tell me what they do to me and all that, but I don't care. I say, well, I'll be gonna live my life and then did what I'm supposed to do for my country. Because if I see a crime, I'm gonna report it. It's simple as that.
Okay, so a crime to you is like going against the country.
On which?
A crime to you, a crime, somebody does a crime,
Yeah.
that's like going against the country?
That is going against the country.
Okay, why is that?
We got a country, a constitution of laws.
Okay,
That's why people can live together, work together, and get along.
okay,
So when you go against that, you're going against the Constitution of the United States.
okay.
That's why I said they should have 6 months of basic training in every kid in high school.
Okay, so they should get some discipline.
That's discipline, self-discipline.
Self-discipline.
And I'm not talking about somebody giving you discipline. You got to learn self-discipline.
Okay.
I used to look
What's
at
the difference? What's the difference?
Huh?
What's the difference between self-discipline
Okay,
and
it's just
discipline?
this how you teach self-discipline.
Okay.
I've seen this happen in the white race. When they'll bring a little kid and turn him loose in the store. And he is running all over the store, disturbing every other body trying to buy, knocking stuff down. The store got to pay to put that back up. And when they pay to put it back up, what happened? The price of the product goes up. Now you got to make that little thing. What the mama need to do is grab around the corner, pop that hand, same hand he knocked it down with, and he won't do that no more.
Give them some discipline, basically.
Right. And that teaches him self-discipline.
Because you didn't.
That don't stop him from wanting to do it, but
You didn't tap hard. You just tapped
Right.
enough to teach them.
right. But see that guy,
Okay.
where that guy, doctor, I forget his name now, started all that about you don't spank kids and all that.
Okay. Some doctors. Yeah.
I would like to see him get out there on a horse and train a wild horse and see how it works.
Right.
A human being is
be
just
nice to a horse.
right. A human being is just like an animal.
Right.
If you got a little dog and he is every time how do you teach him for not if he stay in the house, how not to mess in the house?
Okay.
You get something when he can put his nose there and let him know that's what it is, and give him a good butt tanning.
Yeah.
And he might do it a couple more times, but he'll stop doing that.
Right.
He'll go to that door and want you to let him out, or you make you a little hole where he can go out and want over there to come back in. That's self-discipline. That's something you learn because you don't want that to happen to you no more.
Okay.
And that's something people don't have. Look out there on the highway. 3 guys in a car going down the highway. They look and see a policeman, that's 3 of them. And they'll say, man, there's police up there, and they slow down. And the police don't give him no ticket. He don't even stop them, matter of fact. And soon they get 3 miles below that spot where the policeman was, they what do? Pick up the speed again. Doing wrong.
Okay.
So every time a police stop them, and that's the first thing they say, I ain't done nothing.
Right.
Lying through their teeth.
Right. But then as soon as the police is gone, they
Right back to doing what they was doing in the first place.
They were doing, okay. So you went to that town, and I can't pronounce that town.
Ponchatoula.
Ponchatoula, Louisiana. And how long did you live with your grandmother?
Until there was no school, they didn't have no, because it was segregated when I was going.
Okay.
When you go through Ponchatoula, you go to the 6th grade.
Okay.
And to go to the 7th grade, you had to go up to Hammond, 5 miles from there.
Hammond.
Hammond, Louisiana.
Hammer.
Yes.
Like the hammer.
Like Hammond.
Oh, Hammond.
Hammond,
Okay.
Louisiana.
Okay.
Yeah. And then
And was Hammond, Louisiana, was that a white school or a black school?
they had white and black in Hammond.
Okay, it was integrated. It was integrated.
And in my parish,
Okay.
we don't have county, we got parishes. I know one lady in 1947 was the first woman that graduated from high school. That's 1947.
1940, what do you mean the first woman?
First woman.
They didn't have more women in the school?
They were going, but they were dropping out.
Or the women were dropping out?
Yeah.
Now
And the boys wasn't going because they were working on the farm trying to make a living.
Okay. So nobody was going to school? They only went to high school 1 year or something?
Well, just like me, when I went to the military,
Okay.
I was only in the 10th grade.
Okay.
But my IQ was higher than some of the guys coming out of New York and Chicago.
Okay.
But I was 125.
So what'd you think about the New York and Chicago boys, men?
What I think about it?
Yeah, what'd you think about them? Was there a little conflict?
It was a big conflict because number one, they couldn't do it. They had to, a lot of them had finished high school and got 6 months in a technical college, a year in a technical college, but yet they couldn't do the basic math that it took to solve a problem to finish, to do your work.
Was there like competition or no?
Not that much competition, it's just
Because
that
they just didn't know what they were doing.
I just pushed my side and I go away and got promoted and they wound up, I was their boss.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you became their boss,
Right.
basically. But did they look down on people? Like, you know how city and country,
Oh yeah,
they look down on each
because
other?
they
You
think
guys,
they're
you
better.
guys look down on each other.
They look down on the South because of the type of work we do.
Right.
But that type of work saves many people's lives. In natural life and military life,
The South,
the South.
because the farm work.
Because of farm work and
Now, what were you down on them for? That's what they were down on you.
huh?
They were down on you because you were in the farm.
Because I obeyed the law.
So what were you down on them?
Because they didn't obey the law.
They didn't obey the law.
Didn't want to.
They didn't want to? They just want to play, or?
It's so many.
We're talking about both black men, right? Both,
Yeah.
But
And you had white kids same way.
Okay, but the ones from the north who were for the city, like New York and Chicago, they didn't want to obey the law?
No. And if you really want to know the truth about it, look at where the troops come from. Officer training school come from. You want to go to West Point and places, most of them come out the South.
Okay. That's where the officers come from.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just like Alabama and all them. I was had just got out of service when George Wallace was running. He was in Alabama running for president.
Okay. So what do you think about George Wallace?
I thought he was a good man.
Thought he was a good man?
Because if
Well, he was a little prejudiced, wasn't he?
well, see, here what we have to look at.
Okay.
We can't look at what a man thinks.
Okay.
We have to look at what the law is.
Okay.
So the law was then segregation.
Okay.
And his job was what? To uphold the law of Alabama.
Oh.
So now why should we get so angry, upset with him because he was a good citizen?
Because he's a good citizen. He's just following the law.
Yeah, he was upholding the law. Now that the law had changed, he apologized later before he died. But the point is, that the time to apologize then because the law had changed.
Okay. So he shouldn't.
But when he blocked that school, Alabama school, and didn't let no black go in,
Right.
he was right.
He was right.
Because that was the law.
But you were following Martin Luther King then.
Huh?
You were following Martin Luther King.
Yeah, but then I can say that to you, but I can't say that to a lot of blacks.
Right. Okay. They won't
I'll
vote
be a dead man.
because you said that.
Yeah.
Well, you're just expressing your opinion.
Because they
I
don't
mean, that's really the truth. A lot of people felt like that. You're just telling the truth.
Yeah, it's the truth, but a lot of people won't accept the truth.
But, well, things, change.
Right here at this place, and this
I
between.
mean, I'm not gonna say I agree with you, but I'm
Oh,
saying this is your opinion, and so I respect your opinion, is what I'm saying. But I mean, at that time, I didn't agree. I didn't believe. I didn't know anything.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. I didn't even know what was going on.
Well, it's like right
I mean, I
now.
saw later that
Why should a young
One.
25-year-old man?
see, when I saw George Wallace, I saw somebody that was real prejudiced and everything like that.
You see, when Michigan had the law to pass, first they had a law. Just because I'm black, I got so many points, right,
Right.
for a job.
Right.
That was because of color of skin. But at the same time, we had if I'm a black veteran,
Right.
I get so many points for the job.
Right.
But I didn't block nobody from going.
Exactly, and that's my point is, the way you were feeling was the way a lot of people were feeling. So it's correct. That's what I'm saying. It's correct. And we're looking at it afterwards.
Right.
Now, at that moment, that's correct.
But I don't feel I should
And
be
if you
able to
still
block
feel
a
that
white
way, it's still
kid.
correct. That's the way you feel.
And what happened when it comes down to here's me, I'm a young black.
Don't worry what I feel. I want to.
Yeah.
It's what you
But
feel.
I'm saying if I'm a young black at my young age, I want to go to law school in Michigan. And there's a young white guy who want to go to a law school.
Okay.
So it come down to two. I only got one spot. Why should the spot be given to me because I'm black or because I'm a veteran?
Okay.
That young kid is a citizen of the United States too.
Okay. That's it.
And if he got all the qualifications, why should he be left out?
So you're against quotas. They call that quotas.
Quotas, right.
So you're against that.
I would throw quotas completely away and never think about it, never look that way.
Right.
Yeah, because it's wrong. To me now.
No, and that's fine.
I'm not saying everybody else.
No, it's
Somebody might think different. I don't like quotas.
that's like abortion and non-abortion. Everybody has their side.
Yeah.
Everybody has their side.
Because why treat one person better than you treat another person just because that's what you think? That's not the way God. And then I'm a godly fearing man also.
Okay, you're a God-fearing man. So your parents and you were into religion, pretty much.
Right. They were
Into the church?
deeply religious.
What church were you went to?
I was going to Nazarene church at first.
That's what is that Baptist or
That's a white church.
that's white church? But
I had a white family. They couldn't have no kids. And I learned more about dairy than anybody black in my area ever learned. And he was, his name was Buddy Hyde. And he was, his brother-in-law was chief deputy of Chandlerport Parish. And he was a game warden from Baton Rouge, the capital of Louisiana,
Baton Rouge.
to Slidell, going into Mississippi. And he would go and he wanted me to stay with him. I stayed with him because we had got rid of our cow, but he knew I knew cow, and he had a dairy. I stayed with him and still learned all I needed about dairy. And he would go out and back down there, they run what's called trout line, across the river, which is illegal.
Oh, okay.
Guy would set them up,
Okay.
and then they run them, go back the next day,
And in case
and get the fish.
I'm try it.
Well, he was game warden, so he could go there and take them anytime he wanted to. So when he take the fish,
Okay.
he gave them to me.
Okay. Okay.
And I grew up with money in my pocket every day.
Okay.
Now, whether that was right,
You sold the trout after that?
right.
Okay.
And so he tell me, he said, we're gonna make a run next week. And he had other guys working on him. He was a chief game warden. And he give me a fish and I go out and sell, make. And see, back then, I tell my grandkids, $1 was worth $1.
Right.
I can remember when a pop was 5 cents.
Mm.
I get me a pop and 5 cents worth of cookies. You get so many cookies, you couldn't eat them. And I'd be driving, and I had to put a pillow under me and all that, and he let me drive. And then I met a state trooper. He had a motorcycle, one of them big ones, Harley Davidson. He told me, say, because he knew I would, if it wasn't doing something wrong, I would do it. He said, you want to get my motorcycle? He said, I ain't gonna let you crank it up, but you got to, he had that thing down, it's sitting on it, bring it over here, and I didn't know that thing was that heavy. And I'm a little over, when I went to service, then weighed about 110 pounds. And I probably weighed about 80 pounds then. And I got that thing and kicked the stirrup up and started kind of rolling, and it just pulled me over it. And he did lag. But when I got 16, that same state trooper took me to Greenberry. That was the closest big place where you get a license. I had my license at 16. I passed it off. And that's why I can't understand to this day why blacks were hollering about they couldn't vote. Because I was voting at 18, I got mine. You had 6 questions they asked you. And I still feel today, if they don't know, they shouldn't vote. I truly believe that. You had to ask the question about the Pledge of Allegiance. You had to know that. What the county, parish governor was, who head of the parish, and then they wanted to know when your state was brought into the union. It was simple stuff. It wasn't bad stuff. And you had to answer 6 of them. Now, if a kid going to school, he ought to know that. Mm. And they didn't ask you nothing that you shouldn't have known. And they just go out and just want to sign people up and vote. Well, why should you sign people to vote and don't even know what the hell they're voting for? Why vote? I tell all the young kids over there where I live, the first thing you learn is who your commissioner is, your councilman. And you learn the reason why you want to know all these people. If you got water standing out there in your place, you want to know who you go to. If you need a ditch is all plugged up and water backing up, you know where to go to. But they'll jump up and start hollering, and I don't like that, all that. But take it to the people that can help you. Know the people. Know why you put a commissioner and a county president and all this, and what their jobs are. It's no use going to the county man, president, when you can go to the commissioner, because the president ain't gonna do that. Okay. That's not his job.
So they should know who the candidates are and what they stand for.
What they stand for.
So now, did they? 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 Because you know that for a while Martin Luther King fought about the voting rights. So was there voting for everybody during the time when you were growing up? Or was some people, there was a
Some people could vote because they studied and they knew what the Constitution stuff is, and some didn't.
And so the ones that didn't couldn't vote.
Couldn't vote.
But that's what the law, was that the law?
That's what the law, what Luther King was fighting. They wouldn't give them a chance to find out if that person knew that or not. They just wouldn't let them go vote,
They just
period.
wouldn't give them a chance.
They wouldn't let them go vote, period.
But in the law, they could vote, anybody could vote.
Right.
Okay, so, okay.
I mean, that's right now. The law is, they got certain things they're gonna ask you, and you gotta be certain. If you are a criminal, you know, I'm not gonna let you vote.
If you're a hoodlum.
Yeah. So
was there a lot of crime?
do which?
Was there a lot of crime when you were growing up?
It wasn't much crime it is now. Not the type of crime.
Okay.
It was crime, but not petty crime.
What kind of crime?
Crime like,
Stealing eggs?
yeah.
In Puerto Rico, they steal.
Right.
They steal the eggs.
Yeah. See, crimes,
No, what kind of crime? What kind of crime was it?
I would call them insufficient crimes because there's crimes that.
No, I know they're
it's certain-
insufficient. No, but I mean, what?
It's just like on Halloween.
Okay.
It was crime. It was wrong. Halloween night, we go out and take toilet paper and put it all around people's fence and stuff.
Okay.
You know, but that's
You said we, that means you did it too.
right. I said that's what I just said.
I'll say that.
That was a crime just as much. So I felt just as guilty afterward.
You felt guilty afterwards?
Right, because you know what cost, and then that trick or treat mess. If you don't give me some candy, I'm gonna
What you gonna do?
do all this stuff, put paint on your house and all that. That's a lot of money to go back and correct that stuff.
Or throw stuff in the house? Or
Right.
something? Okay.
And so,
So that's the only crime, stuff like that.
I mean, to me, it's still just as bad.
I mean, there was no gangs or anything. in the
No,
country.
that wasn't not like it is now.
Okay.
See, it's now is, I know every summer, all I gotta do is wait and look at the paper what's gonna happen in Grand Rapids. I've been up here, I came out of service in 58.
1958?
I lived in Zeeland first,
Okay.
and then I lived in Hudsonville.
So Zeeland in the country or Zeeland in the city?
Zeeland in the country.
In the country. Okay, so you had a farm or you worked for someone?
No, I worked for a guy
Okay, and
that I knew his dad.
what kind of farm did he have?
He raised celery and onion and potatoes, and I love that.
And you worked for
Get
him?
my hands dirty here.
Okay, now did you come from the south to work for him?
No, I got discharged in Michigan
Or you got this
when I got out because his Benton Harbor got a house of David, and they used to come around all air bases and play ball, and they had hit the ball, jump on the dunk, and run the first base. And I wanted to see that, and I came where it was where I could see it. And I started working. A lieutenant that I used to be with, a white guy, he lived out there at All Clear, and his daddy had trucks, and I started driving truck with them. And then after that, I went to work at Bendix, and then Whirlpool. They lay you off every year about November. People don't buy washing machines and stuff like that a certain time of the year. On income tax time, they buy units like that, television and stuff. And I learned a lot about marketing and all that stuff from them. And
So did you go to college there?
huh?
You said you went to college before. I mean, you went to college there by Zeeland?
I went to Nashville, Tennessee.
Oh, Nashville, Tennessee, you went to college.
I could have finished, but
How did you get to Nashville, Tennessee?
well, number one, I'm a country and western guy.
Okay.
And if you like something, to me, go to where it originates, where it starts at. I thought every country song started in Nashville, and I found out it's way different from that. You know, because I didn't know music as good as I thought I knew it. But it's a lot
So
of
you went to Nashville without it knowing anybody?
I did know this one guy. One guy,
Okay.
I knew him, and I stayed with him, and I went to AT&I, and really I was going for the money. The military, 'cause I was getting paid to go. And that's a bad thing where the service start off with a guy. Because I got myself overhead in debt and everything, and with rent started going up high. Times had changed, and it changed so quick on me, I didn't even know it had changed. And I will try to start a couple of businesses and stuff. They give you the money in the military. We had when we come out, they would help us farm if that's what we wanted to do. And I tried twice, but I tried in the wrong place because I didn't know the climates and stuff in Tennessee like I thought I did. And it's certain crops you can't raise in Tennessee. That's like up here. In Louisiana, we pick strawberries in March.
Okay.
They don't pick them up here until July.
Okay, it's a different time.
Yeah, you got to know when and how. You got to learn all of that before you invest your money. Because you got to have money to keep you living, going, and you can't be, I call it flirty with money. You don't spend a dime and ain't bringing in but a nickel. You got to bring in 15 cents, then spend a nickel. And always keep that dime in the bag up. Because you're going to have seeds and all that for the next year. And it just don't work. And then not only that, the climate, you got to learn the climate. Because such stuff ain't going to grow. Actually, right when they used to come down south and get blacks to come up here to pick fruit.
They used to come down there to recruit them?
They
Farmers?
get them through
Or a company?
They get them through the employment office.
Employment office. So the employment office will recruit them to bring them to Michigan.
Right.
To working for farmers.
Right.
Okay, so you didn't come like that?
No, I came out of service.
Okay, you came out of the service.
Yeah.
But they used to do that.
Oh yeah.
What years did they do that?
They were doing that then when I was about 8 or 9 years old, because I saw them people going.
So in 1940?
Yeah.
1940 there was...
See what a lot
for the war, during the war.
When the war started,
Okay.
service was not integrated then.
Okay.
It took all the men out of Ford Motor Company, General Motor and all of that, had to go to the war.
Okay. And somebody had to take...
So now, who had to stay here and make the tanks, the trucks and all that?
Okay.
Their wives.
Right, okay.
So the wives, when they get to those big Caterpillar wheels and stuff, tank wheels, they couldn't lift them. Because they didn't have the air lifts and stuff like they got in the plants now, robots. So then they started coming down there
To the south.
to the south, bringing
Bring 'em up here.
men north to work in those plants. Now, you're the last hired, automatically the last what? Fired.
Right.
First fired, I mean,
Okay.
when they started coming back home.
So when the soldiers came back home, they lost their job.
They lost their job.
So where did they go to?
To the streets selling dope and everything else.
Oh, hold on a second, hold on. So wait a minute. So these people were working.
Oh yeah, they were working.
They were working hard in the farm.
Yeah.
And then when the soldiers came back from the war, the soldiers wanted their job back and got their job back. They deserved their
Well,
job.
first thing, the bitterness take place.
Okay.
And then whenever bitterness take place in a person's heart, you can't move it. God have to move it.
Right.
Then they start doing things that's contrary to the law,
Right.
like selling dope,
Okay.
uh,
So first they were hurt. They were
Right.
bitter.
bootlegging liquor.
Yeah, they were bitter. So now they said, well, if we lost our job, we're gonna do whatever. Well, they had to do it to survive, right?
Yeah.
How are they gonna eat if they don't make money?
Well,
What do you think?
now that really I don't know that.
Okay, but you know that a lot of them went from the farm to selling dope.
Yeah.
You know that. You saw that or no?
Well, see, my opinion about it would be like this. They knew how to farm.
Right. But they couldn't farm.
They couldn't farm.
And they didn't own a farm.
They didn't want to no more.
Yeah, but they didn't own the farm. The
But
farmer,
no, let's don't look and
and the
say
farmer
that.
kicked them out.
That's still not right.
Okay, tell me what.
Because
tell me what's
number
right.
one-
Tell me what's right.
All they had to do is to get together. I see it in the black churches right now. They have a treasury. They want to know who gonna hold the money before they donate it to anything. Well, the banker, they don't see the banker. They don't even know where he stay. You trust him with the money,
Right.
and if he break a law, the law gonna take care of him, man.
Right.
We don't believe in the law because we don't have the law instilled in us.
Okay. So the law's not instilled because they don't trust the banker.
They don't trust the people. Number one, they don't trust the people.
anybody.
And if they put it in the bank, they scared then when they go get something, they got to tell what they got. And they won't be able to get it because they got a little money in the bank.
But the bottom line is these people were farming and working for farmers. And when the soldiers came back, they lost their jobs. And some of them sold drugs, some of them did other things.
Some of them they should have went right back to farming.
Or
Got
they went back-
together.
Or they went back home. Did anybody go
Yeah, a lot of them went back home.
Something back south?
But they could have took that money they had and pooled it together and go back into farming.
Okay, and
But
got- got their own-
they had to work that kind of work and they didn't want to do it no more.
Okay, they didn't want to do it no more. So a lot of soldiers, did they want to do it?
A lot of soldiers didn't want to do it. A lot of them tried and they couldn't do it either way.
So a
'Cause-
lot of soldiers moved from the farm to the cities.
yeah, because number one, when I came back from Korea, farming had changed.
Oh, it changed?
They had started making so many different laws in order to sell beans and how they got to be inspected. Food, FDA, whatever you call it,
Okay.
the inspector. They were creating jobs for people. That's just like I tell people right now. I was in Michigan, Governor Milliken and Governor Romney, not Mitt Romney, it's his daddy.
Okay.
I was in Michigan then.
Oh, you were Michigan?
And he was a good
that?
man. He was a Republican.
Okay.
Because Michigan didn't have another Republican governor.
Right.
But it wasn't like they are now.
Right.
It's a lot different. Because what they did believe in is creating jobs. I made more money in Michigan than I could have made anywhere I went. I love this country. I love Michigan. Because see what a lot of people don't understand, Lake Superior right now is one of the biggest salt mines it is up under the lake. How Toledo fought Ohio and got a little part of Michigan. They don't learn history. They think history is not important. History to me is the most important thing it is. Because after all of my education, because whatever happened once, it's going to happen again. Then you're prepared for it.
Okay, so you came from the service, came to the country. You said Zeeland?
Think I what?
You came from the service and went to the country, to the farm in Zeeland.
I could go and farm right now.
Okay, no, but okay, you can go to the farm now.
I used to tell them all, if I hit the lottery, I said, I'll go back to farming. I said, what you going to farm for, man? I wouldn't, you got to work 7 days a week, so what? Look how many people I could help, how many jobs I could give,
Right.
and how many people will
It
eat.
would be your own business.
Right.
Right.
And I know the business where I don't think I would, I know I got to make enough money to survive each year to survive the next year. I give me some good accounting and stuff, and see, I wouldn't trust nobody if I had a business.
Right.
I have one that I'm paying him to oversee the whole thing, and then I would have one sitting over here and one sitting over there, checking
Each other.
balance.
Okay.
So if he starts stealing on it, we'll catch it.
Is that your plans? Are those your plans, or?
Yeah, I mean, right, I expect to live at least 100, it's longevity in my family.
Okay, so your next few years, next 3 or 4 years.
If I hit the lottery,
Okay.
I have me on the nicest farm you won't ever want to see.
What if you don't hit the lottery?
Huh?
What if you do not hit the lottery? What are your plans?
If I don't hit it,
Yeah.
just survive.
So
I got a good pension coming, and I'll just survive on that. And I be out at the same time. I'm out almost every week trying to help young people to develop a job. Because the most jobs in America is by who? Small business. Small business hires who?
Right.
Their own family. We don't produce nothing but hell. Every year I look at Grand Rapids police, how much it costs them to put more policemen in this area. Franklin, Lafayette, and all through here. That shouldn't be. Shouldn't have to be. You got a church on every corner, but kids is not graduating from school. Why can't they open up them schools and teach those kids? But everybody for themselves.
So they're not opening up schools, or they're closing them?
Well, they ain't got the money to open school. That's tax.
Right.
But they can open the churches
Right.
and have classes, and them teachers that claim they want to educate kids so bad could be there at night helping those kids that having problems and tutor them on up through school. And really don't need to teach you. All you do is you get a level grade, a senior student teaching a 6th grade student. Who is that?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, it's a lot of stuff can work without money.
So you sound like you want to work with the youth, teach them some discipline. You sound like you want to teach the youth discipline.
That's my number one thing.
That's your number one thing?
Teach them while they're young, and when they grow up, like the Bible says, some, they won't go too far from it. And if they go, they got something that'll reach and get them and bring them back to the center.
So you think that's why they're in trouble?
Yeah, that is it.
Because nobody's working with them.
Nobody cares.
Okay. Well, that's good.
I don't know whether I'm right or wrong, but that's the way I feel.
No, I think that's very good. That's very good. Why do you feel that way?
Huh?
Why do you feel that way?
Because what I see happening.
What do you see happening?
I see, instead of progress, I see the regress.
Okay. Okay. So it's you want to get
Yeah, I
some
lived
progress.
out there in Hudsonville, that's not too far from where you.
Oh yeah, you lived in Hudsonville. What was Hudsonville?
Huh?
Was that a farm too, or?
No, that's when I felt I had got too old to farm, but I wasn't.
Okay.
But I could have helped a lot of more people if I stayed where I was.
Right.
But
But you bought a house or something in Hudsonville, or?
no, I bought a house in Zeeland, and then I just got there. It was a 2 duplex, and the guy that sold, I bought the one part from it. He sold the other part to another couple, and they just raised hell every weekend, get drunk, and sometimes it'd be people knocking on my door wanting them, and it just got too much for me.
And where was this at?
Huh?
Where was this at? You said Juneau?
At Zeeland.
Zeeland. In Zeeland.
Yeah.
Okay. And so then you moved here?
No, I left Zeeland and went to Hudsonville.
Okay. How long did you stay in Hudsonville?
And I stayed in Hudsonville about 11 or 12 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
And
and you lived in an apartment?
I was was by from the, right there on the old 21.
Okay.
I would I had me a truck that I had a cooler thing on it. I buy a certain time of the year, and I go a truck all the way down south. And
So you drove the truck.
And I make enough money off of that I make it in the plants.
Well, where did you stay? Where did you
I
live?
would take celery, I would take onion,
Okay.
and I can remember when onions first started going up, and boy, they were paying a big price down in South Fall. See, Georgia got some good onions. They got them Valdez, what they make onion rings out of.
Where did you sleep at? Where did you stay at?
Sleeping in the rest area.
Where?
It's the rest area in my truck.
Oh, you slept in the rest area. You didn't live
When I got to the town, I get me a hotel room.
Okay, but what about in Hudsonville? Who did you stay with? Hudsonville.
My sister.
Oh, you stayed with your sister?
Yeah.
Okay, so she lives there?
Mm.
She got a house, okay.
She worked for Port Hill.
And you worked 11 years in the truck?
I did that a long time.
A long time, okay. Okay, and you were transporting vegetables.
Right.
Okay, so now you moved to Grand Rapids.
Right. I didn't want to come. I had to come.
Why?
Because my daughter lost her job in Georgia. And that made because they had big ideas. I kept telling them it wasn't going to work. They wanted to sell crawfish over there.
Crawfish.
A lot of people like crawfish. And after Katrina, Louisiana people were everywhere. Georgia, Florida, Texas, up here in Michigan. But, and what stuff, they want that, still want that stuff. But people don't eat that every day, 3 times a day. I told us, it's a competition, you won't make it. And they tried a little restaurant over in Atlanta, Georgia, and it didn't work. Because weekend, they come out and buy like I don't know what. I said, you got to develop. What they didn't do, it's like a gas station. My uncle wanted a gas station, but what he did, he put surveyors out there and see how many cars pass that every day. And then he figured how many of them that he could woo in. But when it come down to that, he learned me another lesson. He had another guy had tried that and failed, and I said, he's not gonna make it. But he did something I didn't know he was gonna do. He put a white man in that station. And that station boomed like I don't know what. But when the black guy had it, he had a bunch of blacks standing all outside around his business. You can't run a business like that. Because if I got my wife, I don't want to stop at a place like that. What they doing standing out there?
Yeah.
Either begging or saying something nasty that you don't want around your kids or your wife, you know. That's another big mistake blacks have.
Okay. So when you were here, what were you working in?
Huh?
In Grand Rapids, what did you work in?
I was working here. When I came to Grand Rapids, I only came now because my sister lived here.
Okay.
I moved
She
my
lived
way.
in Hudsonville.
Hudsonville, I was driving truck.
But your sister lived in Hudsonville?
Yeah, she lived in Hudsonville.
But who lived here? Who lived in Grand Rapids?
Oh, I had some friends I knew. Wasn't none of my kinfolk here in Grand Rapids.
Like you just knew some friends?
I knew some friends.
So where did you first live at? What neighborhood?
When I came to Grand Rapids,
Yeah.
on Delaware,
Is that around here? Delaware?
Yes.
Okay, right around here?
about half a mile back
About half a mile that way?
east of here.
Was that a room? Did you have a room or
No, I was buying a house,
oh, you were buying a house?
but every night on that street it was shooting
What year was this?
or something. That was about 2010, somewhere along that line.
2010?
Yeah.
And it was shooting all the time.
Yeah, Alexander and those 2 streets was the worst street to me in Grand Rapids.
But now, are you married or no?
Huh?
Are you married?
No.
Okay, but you had kids.
Yeah, but they grown.
But they weren't, you never got married.
Oh, I was married. I was married to my kid. I raised my kid.
Okay, what year was that you got married?
That my kid was born?
Yeah, we missed that. What year did you get married?
Man, I can't go back. Because my daughter is younger, and she's
What about your son?
6.
Okay, but what about your? What's the first time you got married? How long were you married?
I was married I'm probably gonna be married forever, but it only lasted about 36 years because.
But 36 years you were married.
Because the woman I married,
Okay.
She wasn't from the South. She was from here,
She was from here.
and that was the worst thing I ever did.
Because she was fast.
And I was told that by my family before it even happened.
She told you it was the worst thing?
Well,
Why was it the worst thing? Because she was from here?
that's why it happened, yeah, because she was from here.
She was from here.
She wasn't used to being doing the things that like we do them down at my home. That's right.
So she's from the city.
Right.
And she wasn't used to your life.
Right. It's completely different.
Your culture.
So I just
What was the difference?
the whole attitude,
What kind of attitude?
educational attitude. Just like I would tell when kids were small, I'd tell them to take the trash out. Because I was really strict.
Right.
And I tell them, I say, well, you ain't getting no money from me unless you do all the chores I done assign you to.
Right.
And she would go and take the trash out for them and do all of that and say that they did it. And they hadn't did nothing. And so they knew they could go to, they're calling me, they know I'm gonna say no.
Right.
And to go to her, they know she's gonna say yes behind my back.
Okay.
And so you can't raise a family like
So
that.
she didn't follow discipline.
Huh?
She did not follow discipline.
No. Cause
You put discipline and she took it away.
she grew up like she grew up without discipline.
Without discipline. Okay. But you stayed with her 37 years.
Well, I had to.
Why?
I don't know, maybe you don't know this term, but it was a song once. It's cheaper to keep her.
Well, cheaper to keep her. I remember that song.
Yeah. Cheaper to keep
It's
her.
cheaper to keep her, yeah. So there was a BB King or something like that, or no?
I don't remember
Yeah, I
now.
don't remember what it was. Anyway, it's cheaper to keep her.
But that it was true, very true.
Okay.
Because once you divorce, it messes up your kids, everything.
Right.
People don't realize
So you wanted to keep the family. That's just
I wanted my
part of the
family together.
culture. Okay. And that's why you didn't.
And sometimes that's a cost you gotta pay.
Was she faithful or no?
Oh, she was faithful as I knew.
That's right. That's what counts as long as you don't know about it.
No, what you don't know don't hurt you.
Right, no, that's exactly.
You know, if it was something, I didn't know it.
Right. Okay, so she was a pretty good wife, just a different. She grew up different.
Right.
Was she a pretty good wife or no?
Oh yeah, she was pretty good.
Okay.
That's the only thing that made me stay.
Okay, because she raised the kids. I mean, she raised the kids.
Oh, she was just real jealous over those kids.
Right.
She things I'd say to them, she didn't want me to do it.
Right.
The discipline.
Right.
But the boy went in service, and my girl finished college, and I had to move them out of Benton Harbor to Coloma because there was a young man named L.C. Bowen. He went to Benton Harbor School, went to the NBA. They wouldn't take him, so he went to Italy and played for about 8 years in Italy. And then when he came back, he said, get your kids into Coloma School. That's where he worked at. And I did.
What's her name? I didn't get her name.
Like what?
What's your wife's name?
Joanne.
Joanne? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So she was okay, just different.
And another thing that hurt me about her, I told her to go back to school. Just because you mess up one life, that don't throw your whole life away. See, in Louisiana, I know some people won't understand this, but when a girl got pregnant, they sent her out of town till she had that baby. And most times they made her get a baby away. Because they were strict. Louisiana is about 94% Catholic. And they strong on that, having no kid, having a baby, and a girl getting married, not being out the street. So, but she says once she had got grown, she said, I'm not going through that no more. So some people think they know it, and some people don't.
Did she remarry or no?
Huh?
Did she get remarried?
No, she matter of fact, she kind of had a mental problem after that.
She had mental problem?
After being separated.
Oh, okay.
And then we had counseling and all that, so I was the reason for it and all that. But I'd rather her have a little mental problem than me have the problem I had, 'cause I was the one making a living.
Right.
And I have to have a pretty clean head when you go out there doing certain things.
Do you see her at all or no?
Yeah, she's still living. She's secular,
so
but
you touch
she's
base
still
with her.
living.
So you guys get along pretty?
Yeah.
I mean, 37 years, yeah. Okay. Any final thoughts? Final thoughts. What do you think?
I think Jesus is the answer to all the problems.
Jesus
He's the answer.
is
A
the
lot of
answer?
people don't want to accept that, but
Okay.
when we go to the Bible, it tells us it's going to happen.
Okay.
The greatest prediction I ever read, where it come out faster.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of things I said I was going to do, I didn't do.
But what about your children? Do you want to say anything to them in case they see this?
Huh?
Your children, in case they see this. Do you want to say anything to your children?
Yeah, they kind of, like my daughter, her husband was separated. They had a business, had trucking business, about 4 trucks. And I told him, I said, you're not going to make it that way, but he was hiring guys with no training. You need people that are going to have training. So truck drivers don't seem like it much. And they're not as good as what they used to be. But you got to have that training. And discipline, you definitely got to have that. Because you run up down the road, you're one person, you're your own boss. Everything depends on you getting that load there on time and not sitting around on a truck stop shooting pinball machine and flirting with waitress. And he go get the cheapest one he could find that they work for little or nothing, but they wasn't worth nothing. I said, anytime you get something for nothing, you just forget about that because it's not going to work. And then they get a load and break down somewhere, then he got to spend, or him and her, they got to spend $400 to get the truck fixed. And the load didn't pay but $2,200. That's for bad truck driver. Running the truck without checking the oil, not keeping water in it, stuff like that.
Anything else you want to add?
No, I'm through.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Houston. I
Okay.
appreciate it.